hello and welcome to my channel. Well, we're here once again in my dining room. Now it's time for a fall tablescape. And I know I'm a little late in the game, but sorry, but I'm one of those people who waits till after Thanksgiving to do Christmas. So I still want to have a really beautiful kind of tablescape for Thanksgiving. And of course I have my Halloween, and that took a while to get it down and all that kind of complication. But anyway, so here we are. So let me show you kind of what I'm telling you what I have in mind. If you've seen my videos before, you may remember this top, right? It's just a piece of 4x8 plywood that I've used basically to make my table, which is really a glass top table, a little bigger. It's just an easy way of doing it, and also if I don't want to have it this big all the time, I could easily put this in the garage and I have a regular smaller glass top table. So I was about ready to do that because I had this one up for a while and I wanted to give it a break. But then I had a thought. One of the things that I don't have, because I love glass top tables, I don't have any wood top tables. And it would be fun to have a wood top table, especially for a fall tablescape. So this is the thought. The thought is, what if I make this a little nicer so it can fake out being a tabletop even better? And this is what I have in mind. If you've ever heard the term Faux Bois, which is a fancy French name for fake wood, it's a technique where you paint something and then you could have a backdrop color and then you paint the grain on it, right? And I've seen all kinds of interesting combinations, from anything that looks like real wood to anything that looks not at all like real wood, but it has the grain in it. And it makes a really fun kind of look. I've even seen carpets kind of made like that for that effect. So even though I have plenty of wood grain here, I think it'd still be fun to do something like that, because even though I really want to create that very contrasty kind of wood grain with the backdrop. If I just put stain on this, it's just going to be kind of a little darker version of what it is now. And I want something a little bit more dramatic. Yes, I like drama, you know how it is. And I love a lot of black and white. So there's a lot of black and white Faux Bois out there, and I'll put some images here to show you what I'm talking about, because that's kind of what I want to create. And since I happen to have a lot left over of my dark coffee stain here, again, might as well use it. I might as well, that way it keeps it all kind of coordinated with what I have around it. So what I want to do, it's kind of black and white. So my backdrop will be the coffee gel stain. So I'm going to do the whole table in that, right? And then I'm going to do my top in white. And usually when they do the tops, they do actually more like a glaze, so they really, flows well. So I might get some kind of Floetrol or something along those lines, or I might just, I'm gonna experiment a few times, but I might just use like a little bit of water. Sometimes that's all it takes. It depends on the thickness of the paint. But this is the tool. This is the magic tool, and they come in different widths. This is one that I've had for a long time. Anyway, so this is what I'm gonna use to create that look. And at first I thought of doing maybe like more like a whitewash and white kind of look. But then I thought, because of what I have around here, I kind of do like those dark, rich tones. I think I'm gonna stick to black and white, and it's gonna be very dramatic. And again, it's just paint. If I hate it, I don't have to keep it, right? I could put a tablecloth over it, or I could just repaint it, But the idea is really just to give me another option. So this is not just the top, but it's actually a whole table. Now, the problem is the following. The problem is, and let me take you through it, so tell you what the next issues are that I have to solve. Okay, so as you can see, this is just a 3/4 inch typical kind of plywood thickness, right? Now, this one was a tone and groove. I don't know if you can see here, but there's a groove here. So that's one issue that I would have to address, because in order for it to look like a real table, I think it needs to have that kind of dealt with. Because it is a tone and groove, on the other side, there is a groove, which I guess because I was just covering it with a tablecloth, I never bothered kind of doing anything to it. I mean, I sanded this down and stuff, but it's still pretty, has all kinds of splinters and stuff. So I would definitely have to cut this down, probably with my circular saw, my little circular saw, and slice that off. So that could take care of that. I could add some wood putty to the other side where the groove is. That would take care of that. But the issue that it would not take care of is the fact that this being so thin, it doesn't look like a real table. So I thought if I could get some molding that I could put around it, I could probably make it look like a real table. Now, if this was square, it would be really easy, right? Molding, you know, miter cuts, you're done. But because I have these curves, it complicates things a little bit. So I thought, I bet you there's a flexible kind of molding out there. And guess what? I found some. Let me show you. So, there you go. This is what I found on Amazon. As you can see, it is an actual molding, but it's made out of foam. And it comes with an adhesive back. This one is about 2 inches. So it is going to stick down quite a bit. But you know, and again, it creates a nice other feature that, you know, next to the person, if you kind of lean against it, you're actually going to have a nice cushion. But because it's a little longer, I might end up putting some supports here and there. Now, the other issue is that the adhesive is not going to match up that. So I'm going to have to probably put a different adhesive on. I'm going to have to play with that. It is kind of like a, you know, peel and stick. I don't know if I'll keep that or, because I don't mind it being removable. So if I want to put this back in the garage, maybe something I can remove and put on later. Might be able to find a good adhesive that will work. And now that would solve that issue, right? So see now, if you can picture that, you know, it looks a little bit more real. They had other ones at Temu that were really cheap, but they were super ornate. I didn't want anything with all those designs. They look a little bit cheaper, and the foam seemed to have like a weird texture to it, so I didn't go for that. So this is a little bit more classic, you know. The one thing I don't know, like I said, is how paintable is this? I'm going to try chalk paint, which, as you know, goes to almost anything, and hopefully that will work. Because I don't think I want to leave it this color. I think I'd rather have it be black. Okay, if you've seen any of my other recent videos, like my coffee bar, my Halloween decor, you may have noticed that I've been doing more of a dark academia kind of theme this year. Kind of a little bit like kind of this blouse, kind of like the dark background with the colorful florals, for instance. In fact, this is kind of what started the inspiration. I found this is actually a placemat that I found on Home Goods. And that really gave me kind of the direction in which to go. So I thought it would be good for Halloween. It'd be great for fall as well. So that's kind of what I'm leaning into. I'm gonna go for the kind of like a darker Moody, you know, black and gold, very elegant kind of fall tablescape. So very different from what I've done in the past. So let me show you some of the things that I've been accumulating kind of to make my table happen. Okay, as you know, I always say shop your house first, right? So make sure that you look through what you have. So that's what I did. I looked through all my pumpkins and all my florals, and I kind of set aside the ones that would kind of go with that vibe for my placemat, and I put them aside. I also have a few gourds, some corn, things like that. I've had these candle holders that I've had for a couple of years now, and they're perfect for that. I don't know if I'll put those on the table. They might end up staying here in the buffet. But anyway, so we got that going. Years ago, I actually found this nice, I think they're really glasses. I actually found them, I think, at a restore, Habitat for Humanity restore place. I only have 4 of them, so I think I'm gonna try to set the table for 6. It's really more for fun than anything. But because these are only 4, I may I'll see how I feel about it. So I either use it or I'll just use them as candle holder. That's how I've used them in the past. Now, you probably have seen me use this place before from Walmart. I love this place. So I went ahead and got a few more. I only have 4, so now I'll have at least 8. So I'm gonna set the table, like I said, for 6. And then I have these. These are actually from Dollar Tree. And I do have plenty of those. And gold chargers, which I also have plenty of those. Now, in terms of other things that I had, again, this is all possibilities. I'm not saying I'm gonna use this. My sister-in-law gave me years ago a bunch of these napkins that also come with the runner, which you cannot see now because it's buried back there. But I have a runner of this material. Actually, I can show it to you here. I have it kind of hanging over. It's like a crinkle fabric. You know, it's very thin, the runner. The napkins are kind of double. But anyway, I thought that could be a possibility either here or on the table. So we'll see. But the other thing I really was looking for was a black runner. I don't have just a solid black runner. So let me show you now the new stuff, which is on this side of my buffet. So I found a beautiful black runner from Ross for only $9.99. I think this kind of style, the dark academia and the dark Moody, really lends itself to those kind of rich jewel tones and those rich fabrics. And I think there's nothing richer than velvet. So I thought that's going to be fun to use. Like I say, That's why I'm not sure I'll use the orange one. Either I might use them in combo or one or the other. We'll see. We'll see when it all starts coming together. I also found this beautiful set of coasters. You know, I love my beaded coasters. And they were only like, I think there were 2 sets. These are from Ross. They were $3.99 for a set of 4. And these are the 2 that they had. So I got those 2. Again, may work, may not. We'll see. I also have some black and white ones as well. Then for napkin rings, I thought, how about if I use black ribbon? So again, I found on Amazon some black velvet ribbon. This is 10 yards for only about $8. So I thought it was a good deal. And I think I'm gonna carry this thing also into Christmas a little bit. So I might make some bows or something for my Christmas tree in black. So I might do a little black and gold and white on my tree. So that'd be kind of fun. Now, at the thrift store, you never forget, you gotta go there too. I found this set of napkins. As you can see, they were 99 cents, but they were 25% off, so ended up being 74 cents. And it is a set of 8, but interestingly, they're 2 shades of brown, which I don't mind at all. I kind of like the combining. So they're very thin, but you know, again, I could probably combine them with something else, either the orange napkins or even by themselves. Because there's something about the fabric that's so soft that feels like kind of luxurious, even though it's just a simple cotton fabric. Now, I also found this little piece of fabric for $2.99. It's about, I think I measured, it's about 2 yards. And it's a very, again, chiffon-y kind of thing. I would say chiffon, but maybe like an organza, almost like a, cotton organza, probably is what it is. And it's just a piece of fabric, so it's like 2 yards. It's about your typical 45 wide. So again, this would be kind of fun as a runner, maybe. It could be gathered up, it could be done straight. We'll see. We'll see, because again, I'm not doing a tablecloth this time. So I do want some kind of runner in the center, but again, it doesn't have to be an actual runner. It could be many things. Now, in terms of candlesticks, I wanted some black ones because I didn't have any black ones. I found this set of 6 different lengths, Amazon, really good price. So I was really happy about that. And they all can be disassembled, so they're kind of easy to store. They came in a little box. I was surprised, all those. And then I also found these on clearance at, this is Marshall's, for $8. I had seen this before at their sister store in Home Goods, and they were pretty expensive. And when I saw them there, they didn't have 2 that were the same. I wanted at least 2 of the same. Somebody mix and match, but I want to have some symmetry to the 2 sides of the table. So, when I saw those, hey, I grabbed those so fast. That is the one advantage of buying late for fall, When you buy when everything's Christmas, the fall stuff goes on clearance. But you also have less to pick from, so that's the other thing. I really wanted some amber glasses, and I was hoping that I'd find them in the thrift store. I didn't. And also I wanted at least 6 or 8, so that's kind of hard to find at a thrift store. But I found these also at Marshall's. And they were like a set of 4 for $10. They were reduced from $14, so it can't beat that. It's like $2.50. It's almost Dollar Tree prices, So anyways, I was really happy with that, and I love the color. I also have some little coffee things that I may or may not use. And then, of course, I have to buy a few more candles because it's always good to buy the nicer candles. And also, a little word of caution when buying candles like at Dollar Tree or, those kind of cheaper stores. Those candles, they just don't last as long. And also they drip like crazy. So sometimes it's worth it to pay a little bit more for nicer quality candles. Not that these were very much, these were still $3.99 for 4, which is great. But anyway, that's something that I'm trying to avoid more and more, buying the cheapo candles like a Dollar Tree, because they just don't last as much. These ones kind of do so much better. So anyway, there you have it. So this is all the stuff that's going to go on the table, and at least for now, there might be more coming. So let's get started. First of all, let's kind of get that table ready. So ready to start cutting that tongue on this side. Let's go for it. Using my little circular saw. Now it's time for a little putty. I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm just gonna do where the groove was on that other side. And I think I have a few little areas that I have to do it. floor. Now it's time to put the gel stain. This is my coffee stain. And here's a little hack for you. What I do is I put foil paper on my little tray. That way it's easier cleanup. And number two, if I want to save this paint, instead of cleaning it up and throwing it away, I put another piece of foil on top with everything, the brushes and everything inside. And then also the 5-stitch foil on foil, and I crimp it. It's amazing how well it preserves. I've really done this for days and days. And I feel like you don't waste as much paint. This time I'm gonna try to use one of these napkin rollers. I've usually used foam, but I have this one. I wanted to give it a try with this because I want a really thick coat, because I don't necessarily want to see this gray. I want to create my own gray. You know what I mean? Also, I'm hoping that one coat is all that I need. And I'm not wiping it out. I'm just applying it. Oh, there it is. I think one coat's going to be great. Yeah, this is actually taking the paint really well. Much better than when I did the cabinet and all that, which I had to definitely do 2 coats. This is just great. So tomorrow, I'll go ahead and try the Faux Bois technique. But before that, see if I can do some practice on that and some small boards. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so first, I found this little scrap piece of wood and I'm gonna practice on that. So first thing is to add the stain to it. Okay, so I'm gonna try some chalk paint that I had, just in case it makes a difference. I did make it a little bit liquid, so you know how thick chalk paint is. So I wanted to have some body, but not to be super thick. In the hang of it, I think if it's too heavy, you just keep pulling it and pulling it, and it works out. And I think this works much better on this than it did on the paper. Okay, I did all the wood trim. I'm pretty happy with it. It's pretty much what I kind of had in mind. I don't know if you can really appreciate it from the camera, but now the next step is going to be to put a clear coat. I'm thinking maybe wax, because I think wax will fill in all those little gaps and stuff. Probably, I don't know. That's what I'm going to do. I think I have some wax that I'm going to try. So, and then we got to put the border on, and then it's time to decorate. Okay, it's the next day, but so I'm back on my table project, doing the final things. I was pretty happy with how the wood trim kind of thing, the wood grain thing came. But, so this morning, I thought I'd start early and start putting my finishing wax, which is the same thing I've used many times before. When I started doing it, it was pulling out all my stain, my coffee stain. I don't understand why. I thought it was thoroughly dry. I mean, it was yesterday. So I went ahead and kind of, because again, I didn't want a patch that looked a little lighter. I didn't get too far. So I went ahead and added some more stain. It's almost dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the graining again on this. And then I didn't have, see, I don't trust this now. I just went and got some polyacrylic, some nice matte polyacrylic to put on top of it. So once that's dry, I can apply this. So let's get to it. Okay, so I repainted it the best I could. I think it's gonna be fine. I think I can go on to the next step. The next step was to beef up my edges here so that I can then put my trim on top. I did order more trim, but it won't get here till Monday. So at least I want to put, again, I have a bunch of these scrap 1x2. And it doesn't have to be in every single inch. I'm going to spread it around. Some of the little ones might be good for the corners. At first I was going to do it like this, but I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm gonna see if it works better this way. It might be, because again, the idea is you want to get as much surface of that cover so there's no gaps behind it. Let me get the trim and check it out. So this is the trim, right? Like about 2 inches. So let's see what happens if I do. Oh, see, that's too long. I don't want to have wood show on the bottom. I think it's gonna have to go this way then. I'll have I'll have like a, I don't know, what is that? Like a little bit more than a 1/4 inch kind of overhanging. So I'm gonna have to live with that because the other option I think is worse. Besides, if you make it too long, I don't want people hitting their legs or something. I don't think they will, but I think 2 inches is sort of the max we want to go. Okay, so we'll do that. So I'm gonna see how much of this wood I have. I'm gonna spread it around and kind of figure it out, and then I'll probably nail it. Might be the easiest from the bottom up. I'm gonna try that. So let's see how it goes. So I marked it out. It looks like I have probably enough. In the corners, I'll probably cut it into little sections so it gets closer to the edge. And so we'll do the corners last. But yeah, I got lucky. So far, the only cost so far for this project for me has been the polyacrylic, which I just have to buy. I almost did it with no cost, but because these are all scrap. So let's get the gun and start nailing. Hopefully I have the right nails now. So all the supports here are done. Check out how I did the corners, right? A bunch of little pieces to make it, which again, it doesn't have to be every single inch, but as much support as I can give it. And I had enough nails and I had enough wood and a little leftover. So now let's see how it goes. Putting on that foam border thing. It's already starting to look more like a table, right? Even with that fake kind of thing. Okay, let's do it. That went super fast and I didn't feel the need to add any extra adhesive. Again, we'll see how it holds up and all that. There's a few places there's a little gap. Again, I don't think I'm gonna worry about that, especially since, at least for now, we're not just gonna be eating this table for a while. But let me show you how it looks all around. I think it's good, a pretty good fake out. And it's also comfortable when you lean against it. You'll see where it ends it up here, so you'll get to see the before and after. That's what it was, and that's what it's gonna look like. Hopefully, when I join the next part, it'll look okay and it will look weird. But anyway, so now I'm not gonna leave it this color. I'm actually gonna leave it, I'm gonna paint it. And I'm gonna use chalk paint like I mentioned before because I think that give me better adhesion on this foam thing, which I have no clue whether it's paintable, but we'll see. So let's give that a try. And then I'll polyurethane everything or polyacrylic everything. Okay, here we go. It's just some good old black chalk paint. Let's see how this works. Okay, so the one coat of polyacrylic is on. For the purposes of this video, I'm just doing the one, but later when I get my last piece of molding on the side, I'll probably give it another coat or two. I just want to make sure this gets out there before Thanksgiving. So anyway, so we're gonna get now to the fun part, which is the decorating. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I have 3 options for my runner. I have this one, which you saw in the buffet. It's a pretty color. Might look too Halloween-y, huh? To have just that, I don't know. Maybe with everything else, it won't be that bad. So that's one option. The other option is my new black velvet one, which by the way, I would consider this reversible. Look at the other side. It has a tag on this side, but I could probably take that out. But that's a great texture. In fact, that's kind of when I bought it. I kind of remember seeing that. I said, that would work. So that's really where, a strong possibility. And then the other one was the one I mentioned to use a piece of fabric from the thrift store, but it's a very beautiful thin fabric that has a beautiful kind of bronze color. And it would definitely be more like a scrunch kind of moment. So let's play with that and see what we like the best. The black one is wider, so you completely cover up the bottom one. So it's almost like, makes it a little bit useless that way. Okay, then option 3 the fabric. I have to make it kind of in the middle. What do you guys think? You know what? I'm gonna start with the black on it. Okay, let me show you a little bit of what I'm thinking about. I always like to have a centerpiece, right? Because at first I thought keeping all low and kind of all my florals and all my pumpkins will look good, but I think it still needs a good base. This big platter, I think I got it at a thrift store a long time ago, and it looks so pretty there with the black. I also have this pumpkin serving thing, cereals, you know, you could use it for cooking and stuff. And I thought it might look good here, but it needs a little something, some elevation. Again, we don't want to go super high, but I have this thing and I might work. Let's see. Let's try it out. Because then that affords me the opportunity to be able to put things around it. And notice that I have it to the side. I don't have it dead center. I think sometimes things look better when they're a little off-sided. And then the candle holders, as you can see, I basically just split them up, 4 and 4 on each side. Again, that might change. That's just to kind of get it going, but that's what I got so far. Now let's start adding some of the flowers. I think I'm gonna do pumpkins first and then flowers. We'll see, we'll see. Okay. Okay, so then the first thing I always do when I'm doing any kind of floral arrangement is kind of figure out what I got to work with. Because a lot of this was old stuff. You know, sometimes you don't know when you're buying stuff what you need or don't need. So I like to put them by type, and that way I know how many I have of each so I can distribute them, right? So if I know I have 4, I'll get 1 in each kind of the 4 corners and so forth. And I know some things are going to be better for the longer ends, like for instance, these kind of long, spritey things are usually better for the long ends, right? So I'm saving those for the ends. So then I start with my bigger stuff, and then I work smaller, like I said. So the hydrangeas are on because those are the big stuff. And the other ones are pretty much all the same. It's just a matter of distributing the color. And like I said, I haven't used all my pumpkins yet. I'm reserving those in case I need them. But if I don't need them, I'll put them somewhere else. Okay, so let's start putting some of the flowers. And as you can see, the coloration is very similar. I got this one's here that had a little bit of everything. This one's kind of the orange. This one's a little bit more on the red side. Another orange, and then these are more on the beige and yellow side. So those are the things that I have to balance out. Okay, so let's get going here. Sometimes you can decide that this is my front and this is where I want a little bit more impact. So you can decide, hey, I'm going to put them all through here. And that's fine too. Okay, so let me show you what I got so far. Again, I just put all those florals that I show you together with all my pumpkins. And I nestle my little candles all around it. I think I'm pretty happy with it, especially I think once I put lights and all that and the plates, I think it all is gonna look nice. So now let's get the candles on, and then let's start with the placings. Yeah, for the candles, I'm just alternating. I have white and gold. I couldn't find all of the same, but I kind of also like to have the variety. I decided to move the unique glass ones to the end. They make more sense to me that way. And I'm just doing, you know, gold, white, gold, white. So, and I'm repeating the exact same thing on the other side here. So these ones are the white ones. And the gold one is next. And if they give you a hassle stain, see how this one doesn't want to stay. I use a lot of this candle wax, which is great. And you know, I don't remember what I got that or where that came from, but I thought I saw something similar at Cost Plus once. You know, they have candle dots and things like that can help. Oops, I don't know outside, that's not good. So anyway, so that really helps. You put a little dab and it helps it to stay in place. Okay, we're gonna start with the chargers. These I've had for a long time. God, I don't know if anybody remembers Mervin's, but I got this from Mervin's long time ago. This is $12.99, made in Italy. Distributed by Mervin's. I mean, they're really nice. The gold has got them kind of messed up, and I spray paint them through the years. One of these days, someone have some gold leaf. They were more gold leafy looking, and through my fixing it, it kind of lost a little bit of that gold leaf look. But I could definitely do it. Like this one is all chipping and stuff. But anyway, I still like them a lot. They're very substantial and heavy. I usually use them for Christmas, but since I don't have enough of the simpler gold ones, I'm gonna go with these. So, because I do have enough of those. So we're gonna start with that. Okay, so we got chargers on. Now we gotta do the plates. I'm gonna do these plates again. I've been finding them very helpful. These are the ones from Dollar Tree. Just love the black and white look to them. And I'll do this as well from, these are my Walmart plates that I've also used for Halloween. This will be my salad dessert plate. Also remember I have these that I'm gonna use as votives. And I have 4 of them, so there'll be 2 on each side. So again, these are technically stainless glasses, but I think I'm gonna use them for this. They have a really nice fall leaf, and they're all different, which is so pretty. And for wine glasses, the ones that I showed you earlier. Okay, so for my napkins, I showed you these ones earlier that have the 2 tones. So I'm gonna alternate the 2 tones, and I'm gonna play to see if I like. Because initially when I was playing with these, I just did something real simple and I really liked it. Kind of like that with the black. So that's one thought. The other thought is to use the orange. The orange ones are bigger. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it as much. Let's see. We can also do my traditional one, right? It's pretty. I mean, it's pretty to have some more orange on the table. Orange brings up a lot of life. But I really like these ones as well. Like I said, just like this. That was so pretty. A little different from what I normally do. And the other thing I'll sometimes do, which I'm gonna try out here, is to put 2 together and do this. That's another option. So option 1, 2, or 3. What would be your choice? And usually I alternate that's how I do it. But if you ask me, I think I'm really still leaning this way. I think I want to do this. And then I'm gonna make a bow with my black velvet ribbon. Yeah, I think it'll be a little different. I think it'll be good. Okay, I think I figured out this fabric. It's nice. Ribbon is wire and all that, but it is a little too stiff to just make a bow. So I have this very plain silver napkin rings. I think I'm gonna go ahead and with double-sided tape cover them up, and that will take care of the base, and I don't have to worry about fiddling with it. I mean, I'll be able to fiddle the napkin this way, and then separately I'm gonna make a nice tidy bow. I think if you make bows like this with this, you'll be in better shape. Okay, so I'm gonna use this double-sided tape. This one's a little thicker. The top part is always fine in the beginning. I'm gonna see if I can get away with just doing a ring in the middle. And if it looks okay, and the edges are not gonna be too showing, fraying or something too much. The ribbon happens to be almost exact width. It's a little bit bigger, which is perfect. And right where the seam is when we're gonna add the bow. So let's see how that works out. Okay, So I got two little pieces, make the bow. I don't want it to be too big. I'm gonna scrunch it up, and with another piece in half, I'm gonna make the center. And you can fluff it up because it does, this one does have wire. Okay, so, and then for the tails, I just literally cut two tails. So, something like this. Okay, it's a little bit with my fingers going to be like that. Let's see how it looks in the napkin. What is it, you think? I like it. It's very elegant. Okay, and here it is, the completed Tablescape Fall 2023. I've lit up all the candles, I put some fairy lights. All the napkin rings have been made. The table is the biggest change this year. It's a brand new table. Kind of, you know, sort of a brand new table. I love the glasses. They coordinate nicely with the other glasses which I'm using as votives. You know, and if you were actually eating here, you could probably put some food in that little pumpkin in the middle because you can. So I'm pretty happy with it. Let me show you also what I did with the buffet. In the buffet, I went ahead and put the orange one and a few of my leftover pumpkins and my other two candlesticks. So just kept it simple again. If I was serving food here, I probably would not have that there. I probably just put the food there and then people, you know, I can serve people from there. So there you have it. Hope you like it, let me know.
Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this adventure with me doing some DIYs and setting a beautiful fall tablescape. May you have a beautiful Thanksgiving with all your friends and families and your loved ones. Until I see you next time, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to dare to try something new.